Well, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Momentum Mondays. It is 7:30 on the dot, and I am getting ready to introduce a phenomenal woman, someone who is going to lead the call like none other. She is an amazing woman chiming in from Louisville, Kentucky. She is a professional coach, a role model, a mentor, leader, national speaker, vice president of human resources in corporate America, and she is the visionary behind this call. I'm super excited to welcome to the line Miss Jill Green. Are you out there?
Good morning, Lynette. Good morning, and good morning to each and every one of you. Welcome to Momentum Monday. I am Jill Green, and I'm soaring in 2016. I am the host of the call that's designed to wake you up, shake you up, and take you up to new levels in your life, your career, your business, and your dreams. We are reaching our dreams in 16 this year, and I'd like to introduce to you a few of my amazing co-hosts. First up, we have Miss Michelle Washington. She's founder of Michelle Marie Fashion Agency, visionary Woman of More campaign, and all the way from Newark, Delaware. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Jill. I'm intentional and executed every single day. Woo!
I love it. I love it. And next up on the line, we have Miss Danita Washington, founder of Fort Wayne Girls Rock and Girls Rock Summer Camp, all the way from the Fort Wayne, Indiana, my home spot. Good morning, Danita.
Good morning, everybody. Remember to lead with love today.
Awesome. And next up, she is a newcomer to the scene. We love having her. Her name is Dawn Roseman, partner in a major law firm, a writer, keynote speaker, creator of leadership development platform called RAIN, which she hosts through talks called RAIN Class and RAIN Tables. And coming soon is a new RAIN Drop app. So excited about it. Say good morning to Miss Dawn Roseman, all the way from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning. What is up, everybody? It is raining here. It is time to rain.
Love it. It is time to rain. And last but not least, you already heard her voice. She is amazing, phenomenal Miss Lynette Rogers, owner of Virtually Yours, founder of Saving Our Youth, author of the #1 best-selling book, Mission Unstoppable, with Les Brown and George Fraser. Say good morning from Detroit, Michigan. Good morning, Lynette.
Good morning, Jill. Guess what? No more procrastination in 2016 because the future is now. I'm ready.
Yes, I love it. And folks, if you were with us last week, we decided we would be bold and we were going to theme our year. Name our year, and each of us have named our year, and that's what you heard this morning. And we want to give a special shout-out to Mr. Bishop Dickie Robbins, who will be back with us next week, who's been on a break. We missed him and look forward to his return on Monday. So, folks, we'll be right here every single Monday morning to make sure that your Mondays will never be the same. If you'd like to participate with us in the call, please go to our Facebook group discussion page called Momentum Monday Discussion Group, and go right now and hit hashtag I'm on the call, hashtag on the call, and then you can comment there this morning. Now listen, folks, if you were with us last week, oh my goodness, we had an amazing call. We took a slight break from our book called The Top 10 Distinctions Between the Millionaires and Middle Class, but we are coming back to that. But we decided to kick the new year off right so we can plan to have our best year ever. We talked about the fact that 62% of all Americans actually participated in having a New Year resolution, but only 8% achieved their goals. Why? Because they don't have the how. They only have the wish to, but they don't have the how to. So last week we gave 6 tips, 6 steps on how to have the best year ever. Let me give them to you again. We said the system is for having your best year ever, confront it, review it, theme it, dream it, and then sing it and play it. Now, we didn't get to everything last week. We only got through a few. And so the first step was confront it. That means you got to look at the stuff that was self-sabotaging behavior from last year and stop it. Well, how do you know what those behaviors are? Last week, Dawn talked about ask someone who loves you. Danita talked about examining those things that are not helping you but hurting you. Then the next step was review it. And we're gonna go back to that step today. And we're going to talk about review it. Most people don't like to look back at the tape, right? It's 2016 and people want to move forward. But it's important to review it. And that means go to your locker room. Create your own locker room so you can review your tapes. But I have a question for you. Who's in your locker room? You normally find a coach. You normally have squad members. You normally have somebody who might be sitting on the bench. Who's in your locker room? So, Dawn, I'm going to ask you a question. In most locker rooms, you find a coach. Well, I would need you to help me understand, why do we even need a coach? Why do we need a coach in the locker room? Why can't we read our own tape?
Because you need someone to create and cast vision. You need someone to bring chaos into order. That's what a coach does. I mean, in other words for a coach is an educator, a mentor, a teacher, a trainer, somebody who brings enlightenment. What was funny is what I found is that what a coach, an antonym to the word coach, is student. We can't be the same. And so it's funny because when I think about, I look at my life, the times when I thought, because I have difficulty, I mean, we're going to be real here, I have difficulty at times asking for help or acknowledging that I need it. And so the times when I've decided, I may not have said it this way, but decided to be my own coach, things have been in complete disorder. And so we need that person, something bigger than ourselves, to bring things into order so that we can accomplish what we created to accomplish. There's a, and I think it's in Proverbs 29:18. I think it says, "Where there's no vision, the people perish." I mean, the coach casts that, and you get that from this person, this being who leads you, and they change, throughout your life. But you have to have somebody that's bigger than you, regardless of your skill set, regardless of how fly we think we are. We all need a coach. We need somebody there to drive us to our next level.
I love that. We need a coach. In the locker room, there is a coach present. And I'm like you, Dawn. I have had times where I've tried to coach myself, and things didn't quite turn out the way that they were supposed to. We need someone who's bigger than us. And like Dawn told us this morning, a coach can cast vision. They can lead you, and they are bigger than you. So who's your coach, Dawn?
I have all kinds of people that have been amazing in my life. And have certainly, present company included, but have been amazing in my life in teaching me and helping me move to the next level. But honestly, real talk, my coach is God, man. I mean, all day, every day. Because if it doesn't comport with what he says about my life, what he says and what he's designed for me in his word, then it doesn't make sense as to why I'm doing it. But that's my litmus test. He's the coach for my marriage. He's the coach for my me as a mom, me as a friend, me here in my, my work environment, whatever. God's my coach. I go to him for everything, and I'm learning more and more to be dependent in that regard and not get in the way. But that's all day, every day. That's who it is.
I love that. And, folks, you're here on Momentum Monday, and we're talking about how you can have your best year ever. And the 6 steps we talked about last week, we're on step number 2, review it. We're talking about go to your locker room, review last year, what went well. But first of all, you have to identify who your coach is. And if there isn't a coach, that's a problem. We all need somebody who can pour into our lives, who can speak into our lives. Coaches cast vision or bring clarity, but Dawn just talked about the ultimate coach, the capital T-H-E coach, and that's God, and we all need God on our side. I love that. Lynette, I'm going to ask you the same question because we will all answer this question differently, and let's say we all, in some regard, believe that God is a coach for us. Lynette, who's your coach? Talk to me about who your coach is in your locker room.
Well, when I think about the locker room, after a game, you're either the winner or the loser of the game, right? And when I think back to 2015, the first thing I would envision in a locker room is the mirrors, right? So I would look in the mirror, and honestly, my failures are a good coach for me. I would look at what I didn't do right and where I failed, because I found that there is so much growth and really owning up to what I did to drop the ball. Last year, this time, probably the same week, I was pumped up. 2015, giving all kind of, this is the year. But there are things on my list that I did not, there's things I didn't accomplish. And when I look at the failures, what didn't I do? Where did I drop the ball? How did I, not achieve those certain things? I look in the mirror and I have to be totally authentic with what I didn't do and review it. Like, honestly, be honest with myself. one thing that we always, I know for myself sometimes, I'm looking for other people to tell me, well, what did I do wrong and what didn't I do right? But I know what I didn't do. When I look in the mirror, I look at my to-do list every day. I look at all the things that I say I want to do. Guess what? The ball is in my hand. So I really look at my failures as a lesson and things that can teach me on what not to do moving forward. Jill?
I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Folks, you're here on Momentum Monday. We're talking about how you can have your best year ever. And Dawn just shared with us, in order to do that, you got to go to your locker room and you have to listen to your coach. Let your coach help you analyze what went well. And Lynette said her coach is failure. The lessons from the past help equip her for her future. And Lynette, I'm glad you spoke to that this morning because you're right. You're right. I know we can find somewhere. Last year we were all saying, I'm going to be, I'm going to do this in 2015. I'm going up. We have all these great affirmations, which nothing is wrong with, but if we don't learn from it or put action to it, that's all it is. So, folks, our goal today is to give you and equip you with steps on how you can have your best year ever. So we're talking about review it. Create your own locker room. In the locker room, you have the coach, right, who casts vision and creates vision out of chaos. And then you have lessons that you learn from the failures of the plays that the coach is talking to you about. But guess what? Also in the locker room, you have teammates. You have a squad. My question is, who's on your squad? So, Danita, I want to bring you in on this discussion, and I want to ask you, who's on your squad? Tell me the kind of people that are on your team, Danita, and what role do they play?
Jill, the kind of people on my team are people who keep me accountable. I have to have someone who, when I am veering off the exit that is no good for me or my destiny, that they have, the signal and the signs to say, no, this is not going to help but hurt where you're going. This morning I got a call, a text, and it said, have you worked out since you met with Carla on Thursday? And early morning, no. I've done some stretching, but I have not done a cardio workout. Immediately, I got another text that followed up and said, exactly, no, you didn't work out. And she sent me some a squat plan, a plan of what I could do before I meet with Carla again, despite my busy schedule. Keeping me accountable already, Jill, in this third week of getting fit, getting healthy. And so my teammate, I got to have somebody because I do have somewhat of a dominant spirit. And so that person can't be, for lack of words, no punk. They got to be the one that will stand strong and stand up with me and say, no, you got to handle your business. You have to be first. My second squad member is one that can celebrate me. And these are people that have to be able to celebrate you even if you surpass them. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we're not going to always be at the same level. And sometimes that's difficult for people. They can't always celebrate you, especially when you going past the finish line and they still at the starting block. And so you want to make sure that you have people on your squad that can celebrate your growth. And the third one, have somebody that can pray for me. Sometimes we get to a place that's darker and we can't always, push and propel in our normal, situations. But when you got a friend on that squad or in that locker room, Jill, that can pray you through, that is critical to pushing and really, really getting to your destiny. And then for me, fourthly, someone who can have vision of what is in you even when you can't see it yourself. This is a critical squad member because sometimes, as you have done, we didn't envision this call. Some of us on the call had no idea that in 2015 this would be part of our destiny. But you made calls and had a vision, spoke it into life, and then acted on it. And even when we get shaky and say, I ain't sure if I sound right on the call, I don't know if you didn't. And so those things come to life. And here's the thing, callers, they don't have to live in the same city. They don't have to be equal income as you. But somebody needs to be able to quietly speak into your spirit about what your destiny is, even when you can't see it. So that's what my squad looks like, Jill.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Folks, you've joined Momentum Monday. We're talking about having your best year ever. We're on step 2 of the process called Review It, and we're talking about get in your locker room. Look in that mirror, and you need a coach. If you didn't have a coach in 2015, 2016 is definitely the time to get a coach. A coach brings chaos into order. I love that Dawn said that. A coach provides vision. Lynette said, also, use your failures as a coach. And then I asked Anita, because in the locker room you have teammates. Who's on your squad? That's an important question, and I need you listeners to answer that question for yourself this morning, because sometimes you can have folks that are on the bench, right, but they're not in your game. Sometimes you have some folks who just want to watch, but they don't want to help you win. Sometimes you have some folks who are active and who contribute and pour into your life. And Anita said these are the kind of folks she has in her life. She has somebody who can hold her accountable. I love that they don't wait for an invitation to hold her accountable, right? They've earned the trust to call her and say, hey, have you worked out since Thursday? You need somebody like that on your squad. She said she has somebody who can celebrate her. That is so important. So many times we surround ourselves with people who don't want to clap for us unless we can clap for themselves. Keeping it real this morning, we need some people who can celebrate us, who can bring out the pom-poms, who can give out the atta-girls and the atta-boys, who can celebrate us even when they don't have their own things to celebrate. And then she said, I have somebody who can pray for me. Stop right there. Hashtag, my squad is, and then I want you to write down those 4 things. Hashtag, my squad is someone who can hold me accountable, celebrate me, pray for me. And the last one she said was see me for me, or see me past me. I love that. We need somebody who can see us. We're talking about being in that locker room. Now, Michelle, I'm going to come to you because I want you to jump in on this discussion right here, because now somebody is saying, look, I want to win in 2016. I want to be able to have a coach, right? I want to have people on my squad, but I'm not quite sure how to get a coach because I don't have one. Ladies, let's not take for granted that everybody just has access to someone they call a coach or a mentor. So, Michelle, I want to talk to you this morning and tell me, how do you go about getting a coach?
Jill, I do it many ways. One, the main thing is you have to be courageous. You have to see in your immediate environment those that are actually doing things. And it doesn't have to be big, but there are some people in our reach that are talking well, that are doing well, that are disciplined enough, and they can provide some level of expertise to you. The second thing is, and I do this daily, Bishop T.D. Jakes, he's a coach. Oprah Winfrey, she's a coach. Eric Thomas, he's a coach, and these are people that I watch on a daily basis. So we could use YouTube as a source of inspiration, motivation, and those things that can coach us along the way. Your local pastor, your pastor should be able to coach you at some level of degree if it's not hands-on when you go to church on Sunday mornings. Also, reading. Reading is fundamental. And it really is. And I think that's what I love about Momentum Mondays, is that we offer the callers books to read, and it really can coach if you really study. And most importantly, Jill, like Dr. Dawn said about God, I believe the Word of God is a coach. Sometimes we think the Word of God is something that's offset or something far-fetched, but there are principles and tools in there that can get us on our way, to give us simple stuff. Jesus, when he was talking to everybody along the way, it was always simple principles to execute them, to make them intentional in moving past where they were. So those are the things that I'll offer the callers, Jill.
Awesome. Michelle, I know that recently you've reached out to someone who you might consider a coach or mentor one day. Can you talk to the callers about that? Because I believe that, and all those examples you gave are awesome. I do the same thing. I use all types of supplemental venues and tools to help supplement my coaching. Now, I do have actual people that I can touch as well, right, that I've reached out to. So can you talk a little bit about what it took for you to have that courage to reach out and grab a coach?
Jill, now thank you for reminding me about that. And what was so incredible about this, I talked to her maybe about 5 months ago, and she was excited about what I was casting to her in reference to the business. Excuse me. And, we would talk, we would text and everything. So it's like, let me follow up, because that's one of my goals that I shared on a call, that I really want to leverage mentors in my life this year. And I spoke to her maybe Friday, and I was telling her what I wanted to do. And when I instantly knew that she was going to be relevant in my 2016, she started getting hype about my vision. And she said, I have to be part of this year. And that's when you know, too, when that person can be a coach, a mentor, a teacher to you, is when they catch hold to what you're doing and confirm. That was the other thing. Confirm what's on the inside of you. You know instantly the relevance and the significance of that person. So all I did, I reached out, had some conversation. She got inspired. She was motivated about what I was offering to her, but I was trying to get something out of her. And that's when you know, when it's an even exchange, you know how relevant that person will be and can be in your life. So it just took me out and doing it.
That is so awesome. And, I asked Michelle to share that because some of us, we've been watching people who we think can contribute to our lives, but we're scared to reach out to them because we don't know them personally, or we may know them casually, or know them through someone else. Ask for it. Y'all, hashtag ask for it. Hashtag go for it. Hashtag no excuses in 2016. Right? If you see somebody you think is amazing, tell them, I think you are amazing. Can I get 20 minutes a quarter from you? 20 minutes every 3 months. Promise you they probably won't say no. I've done it. I've seen a woman who I thought was amazing. I said, you are a bad sister. I love what you've accomplished. I would love to spend some time with you. Can I take you to lunch next month? She said yes. I was so excited. We went to lunch. Guess what? She's now my coach and mentor. I adopted her, and she didn't even know what I was doing. But go for it in 16. Folks, we're talking about having your best year ever, and it's going to require some action. It's going to require some courage. All right, we're talking about 6 steps on how to have your best year ever. The second step was review it. Now, we're going to hop to theme it. We talked about naming your year, okay? And you heard this morning the different co-hosts share their theme for their year. Now, if you know anything about us on this call, we're not just about being hyped or getting you excited, right? So I want you to name your year, but I want you to also be able to provide examples of things you're doing right now that demonstrate that you are going after the name of your year. For example, the theme of my year is soaring in 16, right? I chose the word soar because it means to rise above all obstacles. And I can give you an example of me soaring in 16. I did Periscope, for almost the first time. I had practiced a couple of times, but this is like my first time really trying to do a Periscope. I was scared to death. Oh, my goodness. I was shaking. I was sweating, and I had so many technical difficulties. I know some of you on the line actually witnessed this. And when I tell you we had to stop 3 times and dial back in, it was really an epic disaster. It could be looked at that way, but guess what? I said, I'm not letting this thing beat me. We're going to get it right. And if I'm the only one on here, we're going to get it right. I am soaring in 16. And I kept hearing myself, Dawn, as I was failing in the moment, I'm soaring in 16. But guess what? In my locker room, on my squad, Lynette was texting me, Jill, you're doing great. Keep going. Jill, dial back in. People are loving it, right? She was celebrating me and encouraging me even in the middle of what I thought was a failure. So I'm soaring in 16, and that is an example or demonstration of me soaring. Dawn, tell me your theme and give me a demonstration or example of how you're reigning in 2016.
Well, my theme is reign. I think I said last week it is not they're not just hype words. Right? That's not what we're about. It's not just hype words. To me, reign means to overcome, to dominate, to win, to ascend. There's a definition I love that says to reign means the essence of win. And it's not just an action word, a declaration. It's a statement of position too. And so I constantly then ask myself, in varying areas, like a person who reigns does X. And so for me in 2016, and we're in what now, the second week, whatever it is, already moving toward the things I dream about. I started, last year working on my app that I will launch in 2016. And so there are things that you have to do tangibly to make that work. And, you know, it's one thing to get stuff on paper, and I met with an app developer, and it sounds all wonderful, and then there was prices associated with that, and it started to scare me, and all these things, and I was like, you know, all those feelings of like, what have I done? You know, I'd like, this is huge. And so, but I had to move forward, and one of the things you have to do is establish a company to hold your app, and so I had to think that through, and my husband helped me through that, and he's good at that, but also just he's freer than I am in that regard because he's been an entrepreneur for a long time, and so for me doing that was a huge step. It was an overwhelming step, but it was something that was necessary. So I found my name and got that established, got my EIN number, and then probably the second thing is, it's been about 2 years ago I started my first book, and then I put it down because I was scared. I mean, real talk, I was just absolutely terrified, and that everybody was going to think it was stupid, and I didn't, you know, and so I let my fear win, and I did something ridiculous in 2016. I reached out to someone who I knew was going to be like that person who called Danita this morning, and not let me off the hook if I told them that I intended to finish this book this year. And I did that, and so now I'm on the hook to myself. I'm on the hook to my dreams. And I, you know, purpose not to let myself down, and now I let somebody else in on it. And I know they care about me enough that they're not going to let me half-step me either. So those are things that are huge for me because I don't have any idea where I'm going to get the time or all these things. I don't know what I'm saying, but I trust that it's going to all come together. But I'm moving forward.
I love that. Rain in 16. And yes, we can't wait to see your app. And yes, I want a signed copy. I'll be the first person in line to get my signed copy of your book. I know it's going to be amazing. And folks, just like Dawn is doing, she can name some things that she's doing that demonstrates her theme for the year. We want you to be able to do the same thing. So when you're listening to this, if you're at somewhere where you can write down your theme for the year and write down what you've done already the first 11 days of the year to support that theme. I love it. And so I heard a hashtag moment. Hashtag, I'm on the hook for my dreams. Dawn, I love that. Hashtag, I'm on the hook for my dreams. Lynette, tell me your theme and give me an example of how you're demonstrating your theme this year.
Well, my theme is definitely focused on killing procrastination. The future is now. And that theme became real to me at the end of 2015. I lost someone pretty close and special in my life. So I just realized that no day is promised, no minute, no hour is promised, and to really focus on doing those things now. And so it's just the second week of the year, but I really want to leave my children a will and not a bill. I really want to create a legacy for my children and just have my finances in order. And, you know, I've listened to, there's a local person here who is a financial planner, and I've always been intimidated by that because I'm like, well, I need to have my finances in order before I start planning it. But then I thought, no, that's insane. I need to set the appointment. I need to sit down and meet with someone to help me get my finances where I need to be so I can hit the target at the end of the year. I have a number that I want to have in my bank account saved just for specific savings for my future, for my baby. So I actually made that appointment, and I'm looking forward to sitting down and mapping out a solid, hardcore 2016 plan because, again, the future is now, and I would put that off, and I'm just kind of like proud of myself for going ahead and setting that appointment. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to a very, a productive meeting. So that's what I've done so far, and I'm looking forward to constantly keeping my theme in the forefront. The future is now, and not putting anything off. And awesome. That's it.
Awesome, folks. What we're demonstrating to you is action. We're not just on the call this morning hyping you up, getting you excited so you can feel good. I mean, it's great if you do, but we're showing you that we are action-oriented. There's action assigned to our things. Danita, your theme is Lead with Love. Give me one specific example of how you're demonstrating that in the first 11 days of the year.
Well, for me, Jill, I took action in leading with love to take care of myself. So I applied, did an essay to get a free fitness coach, and it's going good. And just really, really, really looking at my healthy eating. I'm really, really pushing to take in more water. And a big one is just learning to say no to things that are not a part of my destiny. And so in leading with love, I think I've always led with love with other people. But for me this year in 2016, I really want to take leading with love and really, really focus in on myself.
I love that.
The neglect of myself has been, something that I've done, and a lot of women do it over the years. But in 2016, I'm really looking to steal my health back from the enemy. And so I want to represent and be, the total woman that I know I'm designed to be, and I can't do that if I live secretly suffering. So leading with love, I'm looking to do that for myself.
Awesome. I love it. Folks, these ladies are all about the action this morning. Dawn says she is reigning in 16. Lynette said the future is now, no more procrastinating. And Danita says she's leading with love, taking care of her first. Love it. Michelle, give us your theme and give us one specific example of how you're demonstrating that already this year.
My theme is intentional execution. One of the things I'm intentional about is getting my team together to accelerate Women of More, Michelle Marie Fashion Agency, Cutting Edge, whatever it is, I'm getting my team together. And how I do that is just having those conversations. I told you exactly why I was delaying getting the team, because there was some fear in making sure I had the right people around me. So I'm making calls, I'm setting up meetings, I'm getting my crew together to get my team and this moving intentionally.
I love it. So, for listeners on the call this morning, if you can't point to an action or something you've done, big or small, it could be big or small, that supports your theme, either you have the wrong theme for the year or you're just kind of hanging out and getting excited, but you're not producing the action you need to follow your dreams this year. Folks, we are right up against the end of our call. We always transition into our after call. So we're going to just keep moving. We have 1 point left that I really want you guys to get this morning. So we have about 3 minutes left on the call. And the last step we're going to talk about today is dream it. Dream it. If you want to have your best year ever, you have to have the power of the dream. And this is important because as we get older, a lot of us lose our way and we stop dreaming. And this is an action-oriented exercise we're going to talk about this morning. And so one thing we want to share with you this morning is the way that you bring your dream alive this year is you have to become emotionally attached to it. Because whatever we're passionate about or we're emotional about, we tend to do really, really well, right? So there are a few ways you can do that. First thing is you have to put an action to the dream, okay? And that's a whole call by itself. The second thing is you have to attach a symbol or a picture or a song, right? So there's a visual, a symbol, and a song. And so what I'm going to ask my co-host to do is share with you this morning the way they attach themselves to their dreams. I will share mine. I have a picture of myself on the cover of Time magazine, and this says Person of the Year, right? I found this website last night called fakemagazine.com, and it allows you to superimpose your picture on the cover of a magazine. Printed it out. I love it. It's Time Magazine Person of the Year, right? And then I'm going to write an article myself that talks about the great things that the women's organization has been able to do and the lives it was able to impact. That is attaching me to my dream, all the things I'm working on right now, right? That's my visual. My symbol is a key. I have a key that I carry around. It doesn't go to anything, but I pretend this is a key that's unlocking the door to every dream I have for 2016. And then I have a song called Rise Up by Andra Day, and it just inspires me every single day. So I have a visual, a symbol, and a song that help me become emotionally attached to my dream so I can keep the momentum and achieve it in 16. So this will be the last thing we talk about this morning. I'm going to challenge the listeners to come up with your visual, your symbol, and your song. And so, Dawn, I'm going to bring you in first. Share with the listeners this morning how you attach yourself emotionally to your dreams.
Okay. Well, the same order, my visual, probably two things. My logo, I had it created. I am doing a number of things at the same time, but I needed to create the logo that spoke to me, that symbolized rain for me in every respect. And so I've gotten that created, and I keep that in front of me. My symbol, there's some checks that my husband and I wrote that are posted on a board that we see every time we walk in the door from the garage. And there's some huge checks written to our ministry, some other folks and things we want to do. There's some huge checks. They're signed. and I am looking so excited with huge anticipation today when those checks are good. And so that keeps me focused. It's not about the money, but it's what, we believe we're distribution centers for the kingdom. So I'm excited about what we're going to be able to do with the money that God's going to flow through our hands. And then the last thing for me, the song. I write songs a lot, and so I wrote a song called Going Into Me with a friend of mine, and the lyrics of that song are, in essence, me. I mean, it really, the journey that I'm taking, that I'm going into a place of freedom. I'm going into the me that God created me to be, and so I keep that in front of me. They're my words. Ain't nothing like your words getting spit back to you. So
yes.
that's what I keep and keeps me fired up.
I love that. Dawn just shared how she stays emotionally connected to her dream. And the first visual she talked about was her logo. I love that. It inspires her and it keeps her going, reminds her. That's her visual. Her symbol, I'm going to say the check. I love the check. You had a couple, but, honey, I'm making a check to myself, and I'm signing it today. And then the song, Going Into Me. I love that. Sometimes we need those visual, symbolic demonstrations of what we are running for to remind us. So thank you for sharing that, Dawn. That is amazing. All right, who's next? Zanita, let's talk about your visual, your symbol, and your song that keeps you connected to your dream.
My visual is a high school photo when I was on Snyder's basketball team, and somebody posted it on Facebook. We just love Facebook. But I did a game with people to guess who I was. And not a lot of people couldn't figure me out because they had only seen me in one physical physique. And so that is my visual. Now, listen, y'all, that ain't the goal. I promise y'all. I ain't going to never be that size again. Not me. But now I am. I do have a mission. But that's not the mission, okay? I don't want to confuse the callers and think that that's what I'm trying to do. But that's a visual for me to push to my better. And so my symbol is the logo of Girls Rock. It is my first non-for-profit, and I say my first because I know there's another one to be birthed that will be for-profit. But the Girls Rock is passionate. It's my heartbeat and my rhythm. And so that is my symbol in which I'm using this year to really press to lead with love. And my song, Jill, is by Jonathan McReynolds, Loving Me. I go in the song. And so he is, that song just does something for the rhythm and the heartbeat in which everything that I operate in, whether it's home, work, or Girls Rock. So Loving Me by Jonathan McReynolds. Everybody on the call should listen to that.
Oh, it is a beautiful song. And, folks, you're here at Momentum Monday. We're right up against the end of our call. We're talking about how you can have your best year ever. And we're sharing, part of the steps is dream it. And you have to be emotionally attached to your dream. It's not just something that you say. It's something that you live every single day. Well, Jill, how do you do that? Well, it's simple. So you need a visual, a symbol, and a song. Well, it's not simple, but it's easy, all right? And so, Lynette, talk to us about the way that you connect yourself emotionally to your dreams.
Well, I'm not sure if all the callers remember, but I am the queen of vision boards, and I'm excited to, I started another one this year, that's my visual. I have my vision board, and I'm passionate about it because it's my advertisement of my dreams, and I look at it, and I make sure I remind myself of the things that I'm going after. So my vision board is definitely something that I take seriously. If I'm shooting for achieving a specific goal, I create a vision board around that specific goal. I remember for the Makeover Conference last year, I had a Makeover Conference vision board. And so that's how serious I get because I have, our minds, read those visual pictures and makes it a reality depending on the emotions that's attached to it. So that's the first thing. And then my symbol, it's a visual as well, but it's a picture of my grandmother. She was somebody that has always, was passionate about family and leaving a legacy. And every time I think of her and look at a picture of her, I just think of her strength, and that's where I get my entrepreneur spirit from. So I hold that picture of my grandmother dear to heart, and that is what really keeps me going. And my song is It's My Time, the one by Kelly Price. That song totally turns me up. I get so excited. If you ever are around me and that song comes on, watch out. I mean, that is it. That's the one that takes me there. So those are my three.
I love it. I love it. Listeners, we would love for you to participate. We would love for you just to post post your theme. We're going to ask you to keep doing that. You got to do it every single day. Tell us your theme. Name your year. And then we'd love to hear, what is your visual that you use to continue to push you toward your dream? What's your visual? What's your symbol? And what's your song? Folks, we are flat out of time. This has been an amazing morning. I want to say thank you to my co-hosts for participating with me. Folks, this is Momentum Monday, which means creating momentum so you can hit the goal. And so there are things that we believe that you should do to help create momentum in your life. One thing is joining us every single Monday here on Momentum Monday. We're so glad. And we have some things coming up that we think that could also add to your momentum. We're excited about the Bahamas cruise that's happening at the end of this month. Woohoo! I cannot wait.
Yeah, countdown.
Ladies, are you ready for Bahamas?
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot wait. So we're going to go on the Bahamas cruise, and we're going to have some amazing, amazing moments where we're going to take our 16, past the next level. And then, of course, we have the Fort Wayne Makeover Conference that's going to be kicked off on April 23rd. Tickets go on sale next Monday. And we have a lot of stuff coming up. So you're going to start hearing us share with you the things that we're participating in to continue our own momentum. So Dawn has some things. I believe Dawn is being featured. She's speaking somewhere, one of her many places she's speaking this year, 2016. Dawn, where are you going to be speaking? Is it next week for Martin Luther King?
I'm speaking Sunday, actually, for the MLK celebration for the Associated Churches. And so I will be there 6 o'clock. I'm trying to find the actual date. I think it's First Wayne. I'll tell you here exactly. It is the church is called, it's for the Associated Churches, and it's called, sorry about that. First Wayne Street Methodist Church. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be there. Starts at 6 o'clock. That's the first thing for this year, and then some other things later down the road.
Yeah, I know you have a lot of things coming up. We can actually post that in our discussion group. Last year we were kind of quiet on all our moves. We were doing kind of like silent moves like Ninja. But this year, people have been asking me kind of what other things we do. So we're going to start sharing the things that we are all participating in individually to create momentum in our own lives. And so Dawn has that coming up. Danita has her Girls Rock Conference coming up in March. What's the date on that, Danita?
March 26th at Indiana Tech Law School.
Okay, and so you guys will see a posting for that as well in our discussion group. So anyway, it's amazing. We have some amazing things coming up. Michelle has something amazing she's planning that's coming up in 2016. She was at a big event yesterday preparing for that. And Lynette also has some amazing things coming up. I'm telling you, this year is the year to take it to the next level. And we're not asking permission, we're just going. So anyway, folks, we love you. Thank you so much for joining us today on Momentum Monday. Follow me on Periscope. I'll be back on Periscope tonight at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern to continue our discussion. Until the next time, Lynette, if you don't mind opening up the lines and let us all go out on 2016 Going Up.
Running line. 2016 Going Up.
Going Up. 2016 Going Up.
2016 going up, up, going up, going up, going up. Up and away.
And I'm going up. Hey! Yeah!
I'm going up, going up, going up.
I'm right with you, Michelle. I'm right with you.
Yes!
Yes! Hey! Woo! Man, please. I'm going up.
All the way.
I'm going up. Mm-hmm. I want the world to know that you let me.
Oh, wow.
Your Mondays will never be the same.
Love it.
Yeah!
I'm like, please stop singing, Jill. Please. Okay. Is it rude when somebody texts you not to sing? Is that rude?
That is totally rude, Jill. You should still be singing. You know how we go.
Should I be offended?
You shouldn't be offended. They don't understand. They don't understand. Low thinking. That's what it is.
That's right. Let me sing. Let me sing.
That's that middle class mindset. They don't know you're a millionaire.
Come on. Woo!
Yeah. Come on.
Speak it. Look, we still got people. This is what I love about our callers. Like, they don't like to hang up. They're like, hey, what's up? Let's keep going. I love it. All right, folks. This has been an amazing call. We actually ran right into our after call time. So we're done. Have an amazing day, everybody.
Yeah. Knock it out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.